Jeremy.
Yeah.
Look, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Why do you feel crime is on the rise in London?
Why do I feel crime? Listen, there's all sorts of reasons. I base a lot of what I believe on the family unit, and I'm being honest when I say that. You know, there are kids carrying knives and weapons and acid in bottles the length and breadth of this city and other cities as well. I said to somebody just now, apparently London's worse than New York, right? So in your mind, what causes that? Do the police need more powers? Do parents need to be stronger? Do kids need more happening in local communities with community centres? Do there need to be, I don't know, greater punishments? I think it's everybody and everything, and I just think it's a sad indictment of society. As one of your people said to me earlier, that I have to get you before you get me. That's the reality of life. That's just really sad. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, to think that is your life is, to me, just sad. But then, you know, it is a reality and we have to do something about it.
And in terms of, obviously, we've just come from a situation where it could have easily got out of hand, and it seems to be just a common thing that young people feel that the only way to solve a problem is with violence. How do we change that mindset? Is there more that the government could be doing? Is it more youth clubs?
Again, you know what? I think it's everything. If people, one of your guys said to me, I haven't got any balance at home, I haven't got any fulfillment in my life at home, so I go out on the street and my boys give me that. So immediately you've got that gang culture. Immediately you have that's their family and there are no rules. It's everybody. People will go, it's the government, it's the family, it's local community centres, it's an education system, it's every goddamn thing. For me to talk to a 19-year-old kid who says it's me or them and ultimately the only way out is that I'm going to die, that's just sad. Life is precious, and for me the saddest thing about the increase in knife crime and crime in general amongst everybody is that people's lives are taken away. There are people who don't want to die, who don't have the choice, and yet this goes on, and it's a fact. And that is, whoever you are, it's sad, man. It's got to stop.
So if you had a message, Jeremy, for those watching, young people that were caught up in gangs, street culture, drugs, etc., what would you say, and what would you say to them?
Let me say, this is really easy for me to say, and it must be very difficult when you're in that situation. I happen to believe that everybody, right, I think people should try and aim higher. I know it's easy for me to say you should try and break out of an environment that says you should carry a knife or sell drugs and you should want more, but you get one shot at life. And for me, and I watch it every single day, there are plenty of people that I meet who have had terrible starts in life and yet they've used that as a positive. You're not going to be able to say to everybody in the world, stop carrying knives, stop carrying weapons, stop throwing acid, go to work, don't take drugs. But these things start slowly. You have to raise your own standards. Somebody said to me the other day, you're lucky. Yeah, I've been really lucky, but you know what? I also worked out something. The harder I worked, the bloody luckier I got. And I just, for every single person that works hard to get that, to score those drugs or to break into that house or to nick this, why don't you use that to do something positive with your life? And maybe if you do that, then the next person will do that, because it's aspirational, isn't it? I don't know, maybe it sounds idealistic. I'm going to stand in front of you and go, oh, love each other, don't hate each other, because that's not where the world is. But for me, what the saddest thing now is that everybody just accepts their lot and becomes a sheep, and if you carry a knife, I'll carry a knife. If you take drugs, I'll take drugs. Aim for more, want more, get more, make more, you know, because at the end of the day, you get one shot at it, that's it.
And lastly, do you feel that the police could be doing more?
I think everybody could do more. I feel sorry for the police. Listen, I feel very sorry for the police in instances, Jermaine, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. They're supposed to control our streets. Maybe the statute book needs changing. Maybe they need greater powers. Maybe people need to actually stop shouting at the police and think they have a damn difficult job to do. But then I think everybody does. I think teachers have a difficult job to do. Strangely, for a man who does what I do, I think the government have a difficult job to do. But I think people should stop saying they've got a difficult job, get their heads down, talk, you know, liaise and try and make the world a better place. That's it. v4yavmedia. Yes!
Why do you feel crime's on the rise in London, Steve?
I haven't got a clue. That's your job, Jermaine. But it's getting back worse and worse every week. But what we just saw there is just reality. A Tuesday night, man nearly got stabbed.
What did you see?
The man just went for his pocket. Not good.
And what do you feel that are the solutions to tackling crime in London?
I haven't got no solution.
You have no idea?
No idea.
Where would we start? Where do you think we should start, Steve? Where have we gone wrong? Was there gangs when you was growing up, Steve?
Yeah, but nothing like today. It's gone out of our proportion. There's a lot more stabbings, shootings. Gangs in them days was just fights. Not good, not good.
Now kids are killing each other over looking at each other wrong, stepping on each other's trainers, postcode wars. Was there opportunities when you was growing up? Did you feel like there was opportunities that you had?
To take your own opportunities, but there was a lot more opportunities, I'll give you that. But I don't know.
Do you feel like there's less opportunities? Definitely.
Opportunities? Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like there's enough positive role models?
No, they don't do enough. Role models don't do enough. And they could do a lot more. And they could inject some money into the system. But it's all about them. Jermaine, you're asking the wrong person.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Why do you feel crime's on the rise in London?
I think London's vastly overpopulated now, and there just aren't the jobs to support the youngsters these days, and so they're just turning to other life crimes, and it's resulting in drugs and knives, and it's just not a good thing at the moment. So without jobs, what are they going to do? What
do you feel the solution could be?
London's a hard one to tackle because it's, like I say, it's so overpopulated. What's it, 7-8 million people in London now? How many jobs are there to go around? I mean, it's all high flying in finance industry and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a hard one. Don't know what the answer is. There's no answer.
And in terms of the violence that we're seeing amongst young people, was that the same when you was growing up? Was there lots of gangs? Was there postcode wars? Were people being stabbed and killed?
No. There's nothing like that when I was growing up back in the 80s. Nothing like that. No, it was in the 80s we used to play out in the street, bloody football and all that. There was no knives. Never a mention of a knife back in the 80s.
And all of a sudden, everyone's carrying knives now. Why is that?
I just think it's a cool thing to be seen to be doing, and I don't think the cycle's ever going to get broken now.
And finally, if you had a message for the young people watching, what would it be? What would you say to them that were caught up in the gang, thinking about joining the gang? What would you say?
Obviously, don't get mixed up in it. Stay out of trouble, and just get your head down and get a career for yourself. Go to college, stay in school, get a life for yourself.
So why do you feel crime's on the rise in London?
There are not enough police officers in the street, and people don't know about how to protect themselves fighting. They do karate, judo, things like that.
And do you see a lot of trouble in your area?
I do. I made my mug once in the local park I was.
And what do you think could be done to stop crime in London and the amount of deaths that's occurred with young people?
Well, I think I'm quite sure.
You're not too sure? I mean, what do you feel could be done to stop the amount of young people being killed? Could it be more youth clubs, more funding?
I think there'll probably people, groups of friends who can't hang out together. And the thing is, people in large groups tend to be in hoods, so they can be quite threatening, can't they? Especially in large groups, more dangerous.
If you had a message for young people watching that were caught up in gangs, street culture, what would you say to them? What advice could you give them?
Go into training, physical training, to get a bit fit and fight people off you. That's all I can say, really.